Okay, here's the Speedo from 1955 or 1956, 57 Chevy pickup truck. I don't think 58, I think that's different. I think the 58s, they start to go, they're like this, but then they have the round part at the bottom. So I just stuck my drill in it, put a square head Robbie in it, and spun it, and it'll spin up to 20, 30 miles per hour, but it should spin a little faster than that. And you can take these apart and lube them up and clean them all up, and that's what I'm going to do. I may even sandblast and paint this whole outer cover here and disassemble the whole thing. I want to clean up the gauges here, and you can see where this is just plastic, I guess. I'm going to see if I can seal this up or polish this up and get those little hairline cracks all filled in. It'd be nice to find a new cover, but I think I can make that work. So let me take her apart. It's good that I'm recording this because now I know how it all goes back together. So what I think I can do here is the amp meter is perfect because the Norton has the amp meter wires. I'll put that on there, so that I should be able to get that working. The oil pressure gauge, I'll tee a line into the oil lines to get oil pressure, and then the temperature I'll run to the oil tank, or like I might put a oil cooler on the front of the kind of look ugly, put an oil cooler on there somewhere, unless I put it on the bottom, but I might do it oil temperature on there. And then there's no float in the gas gauge, but who knows, maybe someday I'll put a float in there too and hook up the gas gauge. That'd be kind of cool. Okay, let me take this apart. Plastic. I think I can save this. The lettering's on this side, and it seems like it's faded on this side, so I'll try to buff that out, and then maybe if Peter clears it, it'll stay like that. We'll see. This is going to be cool. I think it's going to be really freaking cool. This looks bent a little bit. Yeah, this is bent. Maybe that's why it was sticking. There we go. I bet you that would work a lot better right now. Okay, let me take this little set screw out of here. this up. I'm going to take the 2 gauges out. Back on the Norton. Where am I at with this thing? I've got the engine tilted up, and it flushed it more and flushed it more and blew it out, and trying to get anything out of the drain hole under there, right here. And looks like I got her pretty clean. I think I'm still going to pull apart the oil pump and inspect it. But my cylinders are done and my head is done, so I'm going to assemble those. What else? I got the chain adjusters in. These are stainless steel ones. I might swap them over to the other bike later, but they're good on here now. And got my gauges in. Gonna clear coat the lens on that tonight. Just sorting out all my parts, cleaning them. That's Varsol. But here's my valves. They're all turned down, and they're all new valves. And all new valve guides, and the seats are all cut in. There's the cylinder. The cylinder's been bored. There's the pistons. 3 thou. 3 thou is what I wanted. I know some people think it's a little tight for them, but it's a little sloppy for me. But 3 thou. So yeah, I'm gonna work on this. The only issue is I got one of these little insulators broke on me right here, so I gotta find one or make one. It's like a Bakelite material. I'm looking through my old stuff to see if I've got one. So that's where I'm at. I'm gonna assemble head, get the valves all in here, and get the new valve seals on. On the intake side, the exhaust doesn't run with seals, but the intake side does. Okay. Got my box of parts in from the States. I thought they would have opened everything, but everything's still sealed. Some of this is for Peter. Some of it's for me. A couple of for his CT70 he's working on. Oh, man, that's going to be hard. Open up this stuff. Oh, this is the this is the Norton right-hand side for the brake arm. Right here. Only made them for like 1 or 2 years. So now it's got the wire in there, but that's gonna go like that. Yeah, I wonder if the master cylinder must mount right in here. So that's cool, I got that. I got the dog here, nothing there. There's the clevis. I didn't know it was black. I thought it was chrome in the picture. So this is pretty cool. Okay, this is gonna go. This is for the brake. Right in here. I just have to spread that a little bit. Looks like it's been squished in. I just have to spread it a little bit. And then that should thread on to that stud there for the brake arm. So that's cool, I can finish that now. little piece at a time. If you can see that, I think so. That's that one. Be careful cutting into these. I can't remember what's in them. Oh, this is the rubbers. This is Peter's too. Holy crap, those are small. I hope those are the right rubbers. Oh my God, those are small. CT70, the front shock absorber gaiters, and I think that's the decal kit. So, put those there, that's his. What's this here? This is the gaskets, the 4 gasket kits for the Suzuki GS 1100. I'm going to rebuild those carbs. I want to get that done right away, get that bike sold. I can go there. There's the 3 studs for the alternator on the Norton. That goes on that bench. Oddball stud. These are the tall nuts for the base studs on the Norton Commando case, the cylinder there, and I just need one for the very front center one because it's different than the other ones. Those are brass, but I could paint them or leave it brass. They're pretty cheap to go that route than to buy the original one. There's that's for the Suzuki GS 1100, the petcock. Like $12, $13 bucks. That's unbelievable. I don't know how they can make stuff for that. It's cheaper than the gasket. Hey, what are you into, dog? Hey, get out of there. Give me that. Oh my God, that dog's vicious. There's another dog. Anti-seize lubricant, Euro Trass, Jabaka. I've never seen that before, but down there. So these are the rear shock bolts, all stainless steel, but this one has the this one special stud right here with the collar on it for the rear brake caliper slides on through the stud. So that's why I ordered these. Plus I didn't have any of the bolts, so I ordered all 4 of them. I can't remember what they were. 30 bucks or something like that. It's a special bolt, that one bolt. Oh, this is the float. It's kind of a universal float. I'm going to put this in the FXR and try to make this work because this unit looks the exact same as on the FXR. That's going to be nice if I can get that working. I don't know what this one is. this is cool. Yeah, I know what this is. Hope it's not too fragile. That's going to be my jockey shifter on this Norton. This is going to be the shifter. And it lights up. Shift gear, she's going to light up. Oh, that's going to be cool. It's bigger than I thought. I didn't think it was that big. I thought it was only going to be like about that big. It's pretty big. It's plastic too, but it's got the 3/8 by 16 threads per inch, which is standard. So yeah, that's going to be pretty neat. Where's my crazy dog, eh? Where's the crazy dog? Okay, let's put this somewhere. There. Okay, that's it for now. 9:30 in the morning, pretty warm. Hear all the birds, all kinds of birds. This is what happened to my garage. Oh my God, it's just a mess. I don't even know where to start. I got parts for everything now. Oh boy. So I got 3 of the valves in the Norton head, and the spacer insulator that goes under the valve spring and the valve spring holder. This is the original one. It's broken. So I went to Princess Auto, and they sell, where is it? Should be here somewhere. I don't know where I put it now. There it is. They sell these kits. They're like the plastic, or not plastic, it's like a fiber. And they're thinner, so I'll stack 2 of them up. But I also need one of these for this carb, AMO carb float ball right there. It broke first time I took it off. It just kind of cracked, so I'll replace it with one of these now. And I took 2 of these, and I glued them together. And yeah, it's the same thickness as that. Now I measured them. I think it was 1.4, approximately 1.4 millimeters. So I'll make that up way down there. So that can go on there. Get on there, brother. Get in there. I don't have my glasses on. I think I got it on there. Yeah, it's on there. It's a little bigger than the hole. And then that goes on there. And then we put the exhaust valve on. Springs, keepers. This. I'll get that head done. Then I'm probably going to paint this head. I'm not sure if that's the original aluminum on there right now, or if it's a coating. It kind of looks like a coating, but I don't know. So I didn't put this valve in here. Coat this with a little bit of Permatex Ultra Slick pre-engine lube. That. Springs on. These springs aren't, they're not directional. Some springs are, Norton's aren't. Like that. Try it this way here. Whoop. Go. Nortons are one of the trickier ones than most of them, because the valve spring is going to be down so far. Get that there. Crank it down here. You got to push the valve springs down a long ways on the Nortons because the stem sticks up almost a half an inch. Okay, there's that. Yeah, a little bit of grease on the keepers just to hold them in place. So small, my big fingers. Stick this one from the bottom. Nope, top. Come on. Oh. Let's see here. There's just one hand. Crank this baby up there. Where we go here? Small keeper, big fingers. Just putting in the rocker, lubing up the shaft. You put a shim on. Yeah, it's you put a shim on here first. According to this manual here, you put a shim on first, then the rocker, then the spring. Some people have two shims, but the parts diagram here shows one shim on one side, spring on the other. So that's how I'll do it. I think on the other one I put it on the other side, but put it on there. Put a little bit of pre-assembly in here. Get the right rocker and everything. Just in there. Make sure that shim's in there. Shim is still there. And stick the spring on the other side. Now when I took it apart, there was a shim and then the spring. You know, and I'm sure that's how I did that bike, that there was a shim beside the spring. But the manual says no. It says just a spring on that side. Oh, my book has just about had it. But right here, you can see the spring, or the shims on this side, the left side. Then on the right-hand side is the spring washer. Doesn't show any shims around that spring washer, but I know that's how I took it apart. And I'm not sure. Maybe the original Norton manual shows it the other way. I don't know, but I'm gonna go by this way. I'm gonna go by this way. This is the tricky part. You got to kind of squeeze it and wedge it in there. It's better with some needle nose pliers. It's hard to do on camera because I got to get some light on here. So I got to turn the head this way. I got it pretty close. Don't want it to pop out. Nope. It's slipping and sliding from one side to the other. Close. There we go. Okay. These go in a little easier if you turn them. Just turn a little bit. It's got to be vertical, so I'm going to leave it there. Tap, tap, tap. Where's my tapper? Put this in here. Okay. I'm going to put the little covers on. The inner cover's got two little tits on it that locate in the slot. And they also go through the gasket. I'm going to put a little bit of goop on these gaskets, just a little bit. Just to make them sticky. Put this over here. I got to get this stuff done. I got no room on my bench. Oops, shit. It goes like that. And then the outer cover, I'll do the same thing. Stack them up like pancakes. Okay, I gotta clean up 2 of these bolts here. I put them in my wire wheel and buff them up. On my other bike, I put all, I think I put stainless steel on those ones. Yeah, just like a polished stainless steel. I'm going to clean these threads up too. Rust on them. Two down, 2 to go. I'll put some lubrication on these tappets too, but I can do that at the very end. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna do these 2. Forgot to stick the copper washers on. I did on that side. I just forgot to put them on there. The gasket kit comes with new copper washers. this side. This is probably the most important part about putting these shafts in. And this is your oil feed line, and it feeds out to these shafts, and it feeds through this slot. And where's my pick? You see, I'll do this with my other hand here. Right in there is the oil hole, and I've got it lined up. See if I can get it in there better. But it certainly can be better. You see that? I've got it, it's maybe 2/3 of the hole I've got open, which is probably enough. But you know, you want that thing to line up perfectly with that hole. So I got to turn this up a little bit more. And this one I don't have lined up at all. It's got to be turned up more too. So I guess this thing goes, you know, this hole goes up on an angle like that. It doesn't go straight across. It goes up on a little bit of an angle. Even though these things just go straight across. So yeah, I'm going to turn that up to get Othman oil. That's what I'm going to do next. Here's the problem. It's a fine line. These two little tits here on the rocker covers, the rocker shaft covers, they have to align with that shaft to lock it into place, because if that shaft turns, you got no oil going to your rockers. So that kind of, those two little tits lock into that shaft. Maybe if that light's off, it's better. I don't know. Just a sec here. Okay. So it's important that those lock in, because that's what holds your shaft in place. This shaft should never turn anyways. It's almost a press fit in there. It's so tight. So then you put that into there, and now you can see the screw holes don't line up. This one's pretty close. I can get the top one to line up, or I can get a screw in that top one, but the bottom one's offset. So I've really got to turn this counterclockwise to get it straight across. But then you look in there, get some light. You can see the oil hole is already more than half covered. And if I turn it down farther, it's going to be less covered. So to me, there's like 3 things you can do. Easiest is to make these 2 holes a little bit bigger, which is probably what I'm going to do here because I'm so close. You take that shaft out and you file a little bit higher up in this corner here, but that still doesn't stop it from turning away, because if you get this gap too big, you know, then the shaft can pivot, especially if it gets hot, you know, hot and expands and the shaft gets loose. What was the third thing? Oh, the third thing was to file down these tits a little bit, give it a little bit more room to fit on there, but I don't think I want to do that. I think I'm going to make the holes a little bit bigger in this one, because I don't want to turn that shaft anymore. Doesn't need much, just a little bit in the corner, and then with it bolted in there tight, that should hold it tight. But yeah, that's the issue with putting these things on. You got to make sure those oil holes line up, and this one's already less than half, but the oil really just drips into here. It goes into the shaft, it lubricates the shaft, and drips down onto the tappet. But yeah, I think I'm just good. I don't want to turn that any farther. I got the other 3 lined up pretty good. The back 2, the intake ones were pretty easy. This one here, I got the hole. There's there, you can see the hole up in there. I got it half covered. Right there, you can see it, so it's enough to get oil in there. But I had to turn that back quite a bit too, just to get this to line up on there. And you can see it just barely lines up too. So I think on that one, I don't want to turn it anymore. I think I'm just going, it doesn't need much of a turn either, but I think I'll just make the holes a little bit bigger, because that one's getting quite that oil hole's getting pretty small. Yeah, should be able to see there with the light. I could turn it a little more. Huh. Yeah, I just need a touch of a turn and that'll work, but not a real good design. I think, oh, the other option, what I was thinking was take the shaft out and oblong that hole. But you don't want that hole getting too much closer to the outside. You kind of want to file it down just at the bottom, make it a little bit more of a slot at the bottom of the hole. You don't want to go any wider, then you're on the outside of the aluminum here. Yeah, not a real good design there. Yeah, ideally, I think if you do, you even just drill a little hole below that one to tie to that one. Would help a lot. Okay, that's where I'm at with this. The head's just about done. Okay, the head's done. I just got everything, oil lines on loose, covers are on loose because I got to adjust the valves. But just getting all the washers and gaskets, make sure I got everything. Got the studs back in the bottom, Loctited. All new valves, new guides, new seals. That head's ready to go, all rebuilt. Now, the piston and cylinders. I gotta paint them, so I gotta get my bench cleaned up. I can't work like this. I gotta clean those cylinders out one more time, paint them. I can get the pistons and rings on the cases here, and drop this down. These all got to be sandblasted and painted still, but I can get it together and get things mocked up. I gotta flush all this out, clean up, take the oil pump off. There's just tons to do, tons and tons to do, but it'd be nice to get the pistons and cylinders on here, and that kind of seals up the engine so crap can't fall in it. And then I can seal this up and get the head on. Maybe I'll get all these parts sandblasted too, but Peter can paint them for me. Unless I just paint them black, I'm not sure. I'm not sure how far I want to go with this one, because I want it to look a little bit beat up, a little bit rustic. So these ones are all painted silver. The ice elastics, the cradle's all painted silver. I'd like to do it the exact same, but it's just Peter's so damn busy. Unless he mixes me the paint and I paint it. We'll see. See how far I get. That's it for this video. I'm just editing it now. And tomorrow I'm going to, I already got the cylinder all sandblasted and cleaned and everything, so tomorrow I'll be on putting the cylinder on or painting it first, and cleaning it up really good. I got to clean it like 2-3 times because the sand, that glass beads, sand gets in everything. So that's gonna be it for this video tonight. Thanks for watching. More to come. We're getting closer and closer with this Brat rat rod chopper thing. It's I think it's going to be a real cool looking bike when it's done, and it should be pretty good running shape too. Like everything should be fixed up on it. Transmission, motor, everything should be good. Okay. Good night.